Time is everywhere. It tells us when to wake up, when a rocket launches, and when your favorite show is on. In the world of computer programming, time is just as important. Think about it. Websites need to know when a user signed up, when a post was published, or when a sale event ends. Your phone's calendar app needs to keep track of appointments down to the very minute. All these amazing things are possible because programmers have ways to represent and control time inside their code. This is where JavaScript, a language that powers so much of the web, comes in with its very own special tool for handling dates and times. Consider this. Without a way to manage time, the internet would be a very confusing place. How would you sort articles from newest to oldest? How would an online store know if a coupon has expired? How would a social media site show you what happened just now versus yesterday? It all comes down to tracking dates. JavaScript provides a built-in object, a kind of blueprint, called. This object is our very own time machine, allowing us to capture a specific moment, compare it with another, and even perform calculations with it. It's a fundamental building block for creating dynamic, useful, and intelligent applications. Learning how to create and work with dates in JavaScript is a rite of passage for any new programmer. It might seem a little tricky at first because time itself has rules, like leap years and different time zones. But don't you worry, we're going to break it down, step by step. We'll explore how to tell your program what time it is right now, how to look back into the past, and even how to set a date in the future. Just like any great science experiment, we'll start with the basics and build our knowledge from there. So let's get our clock synchronized and dive into the wonderful world of JavaScript dates. Before we start creating our own dates, it's helpful to understand what we're actually making. When you create an object in JavaScript, you're not just storing a simple number. You are creating a complex bundle of information. This bundle holds the year, the month, the day, the hour, the minute, the second, and even the millisecond of a specific moment. It also understands time zones, which is incredibly important for global applications. This object is the key that unlocks our ability to do all sorts of cool things, from building a simple countdown timer to managing a complex international scheduling system. Science. Let's start with the simplest experiment of all, capturing this very moment. How do we ask JavaScript for the current date and time? It's wonderfully easy. You use the command with nothing inside the parentheses. When you do this, JavaScript looks at the system clock of the computer running the code and creates a date object representing that exact instant. It's like taking a temporal snapshot. If you were to run on July 16, 2025 at 2:30 p.m., the object you get back would hold all that information, ready for you to use in your program. It's your baseline, your "you are here" map for time. Now, what if you need to represent a moment that isn't now? Computers often measure time in a very specific way, as the number of milliseconds that have passed since midnight on January 1st, 1970. This starting point is called the Unix epoch. It sounds very grand, but it's just a standard that programmers agreed upon long ago. So if you have a number representing those milliseconds, known as a timestamp, you can create a date from it. For example, the number 0 would give you the exact moment the epoch began. A larger number, like 1,752,684,000,000, would create a date object for a specific moment far in the future, in this case, July 16, 2025. Sometimes working with a giant number of milliseconds isn't very friendly for us humans. We prefer to see dates written out. Thankfully, JavaScript understands this. You can create a date by giving it a date string. A common and reliable format is YYMMDD. So, if you wanted to create a date object for Valentine's Day in 2026, you could write. The code will interpret this string and set the date accordingly. This method is incredibly useful when you're getting date information from a database or a user input field, as they often provide dates in this clean, text-based format. But what if you need to be more specific and include the time as well? For that, we can use a more detailed string format, the ISO 8601 standard, which looks like this. The T in the middle is the official separator, telling the program, okay, the date part is over, and now the time part begins. For instance, would create a date for October 26, 2025, at precisely 10 o'clock in the morning. This is the preferred way to handle full date time strings because it's an international standard, which reduces confusion and makes your code more reliable across different systems and regions. So far, we've created dates from a single piece of information, like a timestamp or a string. But what if you have the date's components as separate numbers? JavaScript lets you build a date like you're assembling a model kit, piece by piece. You can pass several numbers as arguments into, and each number will represent a different part of the date. The most common way is to provide the year, month, and day. So, to create a date for December 25th, 2028, you might think you'd use the number 12 for the month. But here comes a very important science fact. In JavaScript, the months are zero indexed. That means they are counted starting from 0, not 1. So January is month 0, February is 1, March is 2, and so on, all the way to December, which is month 11. This is a common source of bugs for new programmers, so it's a critical detail to remember. To correctly create a date for December 25th, 2028, you would write: the first number is the year, the second is the month index, 11 for December, and the third is the day. Always remember, for months, just subtract 1. You can get even more specific by adding more numbers. The arguments follow a set order, and each one you add gives you more control over the exact moment you're creating. You can provide up to 7 numerical arguments to define a date with millisecond precision. This gives you the ultimate power to pinpoint any moment in time you can imagine, whether it's for scheduling a satellite's trajectory or just setting a reminder alarm for your pizza in the oven. It's all about providing the right numbers in the right sequence, just like a combination lock for time. To make it crystal clear, let's list out what each number means based on its position. When you pass numbers into, this is how JavaScript understands them. Media group, computer screen displaying argument list in code, programmer pointing to code documentation at its stock at distribute_equally. The first number is the year, the second is the month index, 0 through 11. The third is the day, 1 through 31. The fourth is the hour, 0 through 23. The fifth is the minute, 0 through 59. The sixth is the second, 0 through 59. And the seventh is the millisecond, 0 through 999. You don't have to provide all of them. If you only provide the year and month, the day will default to 1, and the time will default to midnight. It's a flexible system built for precision. We've covered a lot of ground. We've seen that time is a crucial element in programming, and that JavaScript's object is our tool for managing it. We learned how to instantly capture the present moment with a simple. This command is your go-to for anything that needs to happen based on the now. It's the foundation upon which many time-sensitive features are built, from logging events to displaying a live clock on a web page. It's simple, powerful, and the perfect starting point for our temporal explorations in the world of code. We also explored how to create dates from the past or future. We can use a timestamp, that big number of milliseconds since the 1970 epoch, which is how computers often prefer to think about time. For us humans, we learned we can use easy-to-read strings. A simple date string like July 16, 2025 works great for just the day, while the more detailed ISO format like 2025-0716T143000 lets us specify the time with fantastic precision. Using standard formats like these makes our code robust and easier for other programmers around the world to understand. It's like speaking a universal language of time. Finally, we saw how to construct a date from its individual numerical parts: year, month, day, hour, and so on. This method gives us granular control and is perfect when our data is already broken down into its components. The most important lesson there was the quirky rule of the zero-indexed month, where January is 0 and December is 11. Remembering that little detail will save you from countless headaches and make you look like a seasoned pro. It's one of those secret handshake facts of JavaScript that shows you've really been paying attention. Now that you've mastered the art of creating dates, a whole new universe of possibilities opens up. What's next? You can now learn about the many methods available on the object. You can get the day of the week, add 3 months to a date, calculate the difference between 2 dates, or format a date to look beautiful for your users, like Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Your journey is far from over. You've just unlocked the door. So go on, experiment. The clock is ticking, and there's so much more to discover. Go get 'em.